Good morning, Carrie. How are you today?
Wonderful, Jane. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. We've got great weather here in Vancouver, BC, so everyone is happy. Makes such a difference.
That's wonderful. We're here on the East Coast, and it's a beautiful sunshine autumn day, and we're enjoying the warmth of the afternoon, and the evenings are getting a little cool, and we're getting into apple picking weather, so it's really fun.
It's a great season, isn't it?
I love this time of year.
Now, Carrie, you are an expert psychosomatic numerologist. That's a pretty big mouthful for a lot of people. The psychosomatic is something we might have a faint idea of what that is about. We used to say things to each other like, oh, she imagines it and then she feels it. So something along the line. And then the numerology, well, being a numerologist, what does that entail?
Oh, I love the question. And it's so funny because I feel like my whole entire life has led me to this journey. I'm gonna stop that. I'm sorry about
And
the phone.
sense, all making sense that it's just a puzzle piece that the pieces are falling in for you. You're very happy with your direction in life. I get it.
I feel like every part of this journey, every left and right turn has brought me right here. And the bringing numerology and psychosomatics, especially the body mind connection. What I love about numerology is it's logical and it's something that you do with numbers, you add it together, and it helps in our spiritual journey because it verifies for us the big areas of life. Most of the time when people talk to me, they'll say, what's my purpose in life, and why can't I get there? What's blocking me? And time after time after time, when we do full charts, everyone will say, I knew that. That's just validating what I already knew about myself. So it gives you that logical piece of it where it opens you up to being able to live your best life. But the psychosomatics part of it is all about energy. It's all about the information. It's all about emotions that we have and the body mind connection. And I like to talk about emotions as signposts, and signposts are here designed to get you to pay attention to the here and now. And if you pay attention, this is where your power is. This is where we're being right now. If we're in the future or we're in the past, we have absolutely no control over what's happening in our lives. And so many people are living their lives either in the past and bringing the past into the future, or they're running these automatic subconscious programs that are blocking them from being all that they can be and from achieving their life purpose. So, psychosomatic numerology can help as we do the body mind connection, maintaining the balance, using this numerology and the everyday emotions. And we go through this process of letting go, and we bring to the conscious level what is unconscious and runs in the background so that we have power in who we are being in this moment.
Wow, you really, really understand your work. You really make it clear that we can be in control of our lives, that we do have power, and that it's available.
So much it is power. It's available to each and every one of us. And sometimes we get distracted, and sometimes we get busy about other things, and things in our lives happen. And this way here, what it does is it grounds us. It gives us a place to stand, a powerful place to stand.
That is beautiful. That really is, because I know from my own experience, when I am confused or uncertain about even what color to choose to paint my interior house, it's just draining. There's just so ridiculous. Like I should be able to be clear about what I want and move forward on all kinds of decisions, little decisions in the day, big decisions in my life. I want that clarity.
Right. And this is a way that we can stimulate and use our minds to be able to leverage ourselves so that we can be all that we can be. And I've been saying these mantras, it's I don't know, it's synchronicity at its finest, because some of the things that I've been saying my whole life about being the best that you can be and being here to be of assistance, to give my life, um, to give to others what they need to live their best life, is where I am. And I've never been happier in my entire life.
Well, you look happy, so that's just fantastic. So where you go?
So I prepared a couple of slides. If you don't mind, I'd love to share and kind of talk a little bit. I love to speak to pictures, if that makes sense to you. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about the psychosomatics. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, I can. I'm just pinching it out a little bit, but I've got my glasses on, so we should be all good.
Very good. So basically, that's just an introductory slide about me as an
Mm.
empowerment coach and a psychosomatic numerologist. And I've been doing this my whole entire life. Many people understand that we have energy centers in our physical body. And what ends up happening to us is that we get out of alignment and energy gets stuck. And the way energy can get stuck, it's like in your homes, for those people who do feng shui. If you have too much clutter, if you have too much in your home or in your environment, what happens is the energy fails to move. And what we do is we work on keeping the energy flowing, allowing the creativity, being spiritually aware so that the energy can come from your highest self through your energy centers, and you have the ability to be able to share your gifts with the world. What I use as a grounding for this practice is David R. Hawkins. Dr. David R. Hawkins has done extensive research on the map of consciousness and basically has created, through years and years of study and evaluation using science, to be able to create a map where he has identified the range of emotions at the lowest scale, beginning with shame. He's identified the energy level all the way up through 1,000, which has to do with spiritual enlightenment. And he's done extensive research on this. And what I love to do is use this as a foundation. So when you talk about shame or guilt, you're talking about energy levels that are very, very low. And on this scale here, anything under 200, which is courage, is an energy depleting emotion or state of consciousness. And you and I were having a conversation before when we were talking about depleting our energy resources and how meditation actually feeds the soul and gives you energy and life. And the emotions and the state from 200 and above is what creates a sense of abundance and wellness. And the practice of being able to neutralize or to reframe or to let go some of these automatic processes. Many times when we are young, when we're young children from the ages of 3 to age 9, we're like sponges on this planet. And whatever happens in our immediate circle is how we make sense out of being on this planet. And sometimes we learn emotions by watching others having those emotions. And sometimes we are taught by our parents, our siblings, our immediate circle about life at a very, very young age. And what ends up happening is we repeat these patterns time and time again, and they become automatic and they go under the level. They become unconscious. And what happens is when these feelings, these signposts come up, for instance, in our life, something very, very sad came up. There was a very young friend of my godchild who passed. And it was very, very, it brought grief for the whole entire family. This is somebody that we've known and loved for many years. He's only 33 years old, and he died very suddenly. So when grief comes up, it's natural to be able to go through the regret and the sympathy and the empathy that you have for the family. And it also brings up feelings of grief in other areas. And one of the worst things that we can do as human beings is to not process that feeling. So the healthiest thing that you can do is actually to experience the emotion. And many times we're busy in our life, we don't have time, we don't want to deal with it. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll talk ourselves out of the feeling. We'll resist the feeling. We'll put it aside. Or worse than that is sometimes we engage in numbing behaviors where we overshop or we over drink or we overeat or we over anything. It as a compensation. And what ends up happening when we have these emotions, which are merely signposts that say, look at me, experience this, look for the lesson in this. This is an opportunity for soul growth. What ends up happening is the energy has a tendency to get stuck. And the energy can get stuck in our energy centers, which is our chakras. The body mind connection here. I love this chart because what it does is it shows the energy centers from your root chakra all the way to your crown in your physical being. And on the right hand side, it shows the actual numerology, the numbers that go along with each and every one of the chakras. So if you take the vibration of the word in the feeling, you can actually pinpoint what areas in your body, if you don't allow it, will actually get blocked. Now, I've said a lot here. Do you have any questions?
Well, I was just looking at this chart here, and looking at the numbers on the right-hand side. So can you just again enrich that understanding by saying number one, confidence and independence? Where does that appear? That's purple, so that appears in the crown chakra. Is that
Each
correct?
one of these on the right-hand side over here is in alignment with the chakras. So number one is a direct correlation to the crown chakra.
Okay.
0 and 9 are the third eye, which is the inner gifts and wisdom. Think about it. And compassion and integrity, how you live your life. 3 is your throat chakra, which has to do with your creativity and your emotional expression, your throat area. Now, think about this. If you have a -3 going on in your life, let's just say somebody is lying to you. Somebody is not telling the truth and you don't want to face it. You're looking at it, but you don't want to face it. Can you see how this would stop the energy in your throat? And actually, you can see correlations. And there's energies, there's illnesses that people could have if they repeatedly and repeatedly end up having the same manifestations or have the same emotions and put them aside. They put them on the shelf, and what happens is they pile up and they pile up and they pile up, and the energy gets stuck in that area, and it can manifest into illness. It can manifest into poor immune systems. It can manifest into disease.
Well, that makes sense. I can see that that would be a very negating thing to do in your body.
Absolutely.
But hold
Abs-
on. And,
absolutely.
in your tissues. I mean, there's all kinds of work that's been done around that.
Yes, where
And
there's physical manifestations of the lack of movement in the energy. And we want to create an area where we're open and we're available and we're giving and we're living our best selves.
well,
Just taking, go
that's
ahead.
bringing forward. I mean, just being aware of all of these, of the qualities of the chakras is huge. Just being aware of it, and then you want to work with it.
Well, and it's that body mind connection, and it's bringing from what's underneath the subconscious and making it conscious. Because once it's conscious and once it's deliberate, and through meditation and peaceful practices and expression of your feelings, and also self love and forgiveness of those that brought up these negative energies in your life, it's a holistic practice so that you can be more grounded and you can handle and express yourself in the most positive ways, and you can live the most fruitful lives.
Well, I can see that you have taken your own medicine because you have a solid understanding of this area and really a very compelling presentation. You're very compelling.
Thank you so much. Well, let me give you an example, because this is an area where we have a class that we're doing right now, and we're working on the feeling. As a matter of fact, this week we were working on the feeling of guilt. And we're talking about guilt and guilty. And we were taking the numerology around the word guilt. And there's certain numbers that actually, when you take GUILT and GUILTY, the vibration actually correlates with the heart chakra, number 6, the root chakra, the base chakra here, which has to do with your ability, your stability and discipline, number 4. And then finally, the crown chakra, which has to do with number 1, your independence. And if you look in these areas, and what I'd like to do after this is, if you would entertain me, I'd love to do a meditation just so that we could release this feeling of guilt and its subsidiaries, so that we could let go of what's happened in our childhood.
Terrific. Love to have.
So if your heart chakra is blocked as a result of feeling guilt, and let's just say guilt is, sometimes what happens is people say, I just go automatically to guilt. And the example I gave you before about the grief, sometimes people feel guilty about what happened to other people and what's happened for what they've done or what they haven't done. So they might be prone to feeling guilty, and it could hurt in your heart, and it may affect other relationships. It can affect your heart in any way, shape, or form. It can affect your upper back, because your heart is here. A lot of times people feel like they've been stabbed in the back if they're having problems in this area. Your root chakra has to do with your balance, has to do with your foundation. People who have problems in these areas, they can have problems with their legs, their feet. They can have problems with their blood. They can have fight or flight and anxious anxiety. Other areas is when you're talking about your crown chakra, your ability to have confidence and self-confidence and to feel like you have power in your life. People, think about it. If they suffer from depression, this is a blocked crown chakra. They don't have freedom. They don't have feelings like they're in control. They have underlying emotions that get stuck, and they're feeling like they're trapped. So these areas are just 3 of the chakras that are involved and can be involved. Not saying that you have to have any and all of these, but a lot of times what ends up happening is when we start talking about these energy centers, we'll talk to somebody who has problems with their blocked crown chakra, and they suffer from headaches. They suffer from problems with sleep. They suffer from problems. It could be the numbing behaviors where they're thinking about things so that they're addicted to other things. A lot of these go together. And what I can tell you is trapped energy will cause physical ailments. And that is never a good thing. I wanted to take this time to show you a real example of my chart. And this is an example where we can take the numerology, and this has to do with my expression and the power of being able to transform how you appear to other people as a result of the letters in your name. The letters in your name, each letter has a vibration, and you add them all together in numerology to a single digit, unless, of course, it's a repeating number. And then you keep the repeating number. We call those master numbers. Master numbers aren't better than other numbers. They're just playing a larger game. It's like being the small fish in the big pond. When you have a master number, you're playing in a bigger pond. So that just means typically it's old souls playing up in this lifetime. So I believe that I've been around many times. I believe in reincarnation, that I'm a spiritual being. And the reason I believe this is because there are certain things that I know in this lifetime that I didn't learn in this lifetime, but it's part of who I am. And these are awarenesses that I have. So I believe when people have repeating numbers and master numbers, that they're very old souls and that they're just playing a very big game. So this is a chart that I created as a business person. I live and breathe in Excel, as many logical linear thinkers do. And this is just an example. If you look at my name here, Carrie S. Lemlin, every letter in my name has a vibration, and we add them together, and you add them all together and we come up with a number 7-1, and 7 and 1 are part of who I am as an expressive. And then 8 is the culmination. What I did is recently I changed how I spell my last name. And the reason I did it is because when I say my married name, Lemelin, what ends up happening is people will, if they say it right, they spell it wrong. So with the E in the middle of the name, they say one of two things. They say Lemelin, or they say Lemelin. The name is sounded Lemlin. So for anybody who says the name properly, they spell it Lemlin. And about a month ago, I had the brainstorm to look at spelling the name phonetically and to see the impact in my numerology. And it's blown my mind, because I went from an 8 vibration, which is not a bad vibration. An 8 vibration is a manifester. It's a balancer. It's somebody who can make things happen. 8s are very good, and they have a lot of things going at the same time. One of the challenges of being in your 8, and sometimes negative, is that you have a lot of things going on and there is very little time for focus and getting things achieved. By taking the E out of my name, it caused the expression to be a master number, 6, 6, 2 numbers. And by the way, my challenges are 6s. So anytime I can reinforce my vibration with numbers, it minimizes the impact of my challenge. So when you add 6 plus 6, it's 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 is all about being in communication. It's having the ability to communicate to the masses about what we're talking about. And Jane, you just mentioned how easy it is to understand the complexity of psychosomatic numerology. And I'm going to go so far as to say that this clarity and ease has resulted very recently in being able to go with the 3 vibration.
And to also have fun and well-being at the same time.
Absolutely. You obviously know your numerology as well.
Well, we've had time together on it, but I'm so impressed that you took the E out of your last name to accomplish that. It's very creative, really.
It was funny because my husband, who is semi-retired, and he's working with someone who grew up with him, and he was someone who knew the name Lemlin, and he actually created a business card for my husband. And I looked at the business card and he spelt it wrong. And a lot of times when people will ask me my name, I'll always use the term and I'll say, if you say it right, you spell it wrong. And that's what gave me the idea. When it came up, I said, me as a numerologist, let's see what happens if I spell it the way it sounds. And then number one, people get your name right and they say it right. And number two, let's just see what the impact will be. And it's just been absolutely phenomenal.
Well, on the earth plane, it changes all that confusion.
Sure
because
does.
saying it's Leme, because you're saying Lemlin. I mean, it just right from the core, it just makes sense. And you say, gee, it's come up before, but I never sort of connected the dots. Now, with my understanding of numerology, it was just simple. Just take the E out. Beautiful.
And seeing the impact and time and time and time again. I mean, I do charts almost every day. I do people's charts all the time. And I love it because it's just an open door to a conversation and to be able to, and as a coach, and I've been an energy coach my professional career. So it just opens the door to having these conversations and to I look at the synchronicity of it all. And when I saw the double 6s and I realized my challenges are 6066, 3 6s in my challenges. My destiny is a 9. It's a 27-9, which says I'm an old soul. I'm here to help make the planet a better place. I've been saying my whole entire life that I want people to be the best that they can be. And anything I can do is to help them. And then I get the numerology, and it's just validation of everything that we've already known.
Well, it gives you insight into your destination number. You can't change that because that's the day you were born. That is
correct.
In gold.
So, and the goal, and that's where the challenge is, and that's where the attainments, and that's where there's certain parts of the chart. The first part of the chart has to do with the day you were born. So it has to do with like your brand new granddaughter. Your granddaughter chose to join us on a certain day. Her destiny, her life challenges, what she is here to accomplish is all as a result of the day she was born. And it is the same for all of us. The expression, however, the second part of your chart is something that's malleable. You know, when we change our names because we get married, I did. I never even thought about it. And I went from one vibration to another. And actually, I mean, I started using my middle initial when I started doing this work because I had a vibration without my middle initial that was one of the worst vibrations that you can have. It's the worst because people don't understand you. And I all of a sudden one day I was Mrs. Lemlin, and the day before I was Carrie Sheezer. And the thing was, my friends didn't even understand me. And I'm saying, it's like I had laryngitis and my voice was not coming through. It is so apparent. And that's, I see the power because I've experienced it firsthand. So
That's great.
thank you. Well, what I'd love to do now, if you don't mind, is I'd love to have a quick meditation where we can kind of clear out some emotions and do that. And then I want to talk to you about this special offer that I have for the month of October that's coming up. Actually, I'm going to honor it through the end of September and through October for your listeners.
And that would be starting today, would it?
That would.
Okay.
Very good. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go into that meditation if everybody's ready.
Ready.
Fantastic. All right. What I'd like you to do right now is to take a deep breath in and hold it and let it go completely. And take another deep breath in and hold it and blow it out completely. And I just want us to settle in and start to become one and get comfortable with where we are. If there's any noises in the background, just let them fade into the background and give yourself this space and time just for you. So what I'd like you to do now is to imagine a silver plate. I want you to empty all of the anxiety of the day, the week, the month, all the things that you need to do, all the worries that you have. Let them go and put them on this silver plate and watch it fly higher and higher in the vastness of the universe until you don't see it. Imagine yourself walking in a garden, feeling completely relaxed. Feel the warmth and the sunshine on your skin. Enjoy the peace and harmony of the nature and the flowers in this beautiful garden. Keep walking till the edge of the garden until you come to a set of stairs. Walk up those stairs, and at the top of the stairs, you'll see a door with a key inside the lock. Unlock that door with the key in that lock. Take the key, open the door, and walk into your own private island. Close the door behind you, lock it, and keep the key with you. This is your own private island. It is completely safe and secure. I want you to ask at this time to invoke your guardian angel or guardian guide, your protector, to come and be with you on this island. This guardian is from the light, and his sole purpose is to be with you at all times. I'd like you to invoke and invite from the light your master guide, who is from the light, who has the whole picture of your lifetimes as an evolved soul and the plan for your physical life on this planet. Your master guide has your greatest and highest intentions and is here to support you as you discover why you're here and what's blocking you, and has your greatest and highest good as their intention. I would like you to also invoke and invite your healing doctor, who is also from the light in source energy. Your healing doctor is here to help the balance, to maintain the physical balance, and to help you to thrive and to clear out what no longer serves you, and is here upon your request to help in that. I'd love it if right now you and I and everyone on this call were able to, with the guidance of our spirit guides and our guardians, to create an energetic field on this island. It can be made up of anything you want it to be. It can be sunshine, it could be water, it could be mist, it could be mountains. The purpose of this energetic field is to transmute and neutralize any situations or emotions that you put into this field, and allow your greatest and highest goods. I would like to bring up at this time the feeling of guilt or feeling guilty. The feeling of guilt sometimes brings up fear about being all that you can be. Sometimes we avoid taking responsibility as a result of having guilt. We avoid standing up for ourselves. We avoid being independent. It keeps us stuck. Sometimes there's feelings underneath the feeling of guilt. Talking about shame, talking about sorrow, talking about regret. What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to spend some time thinking about your life and how the feeling of guilt and being guilty impacts your current life. And let's get underneath that feeling so that we can transmute this and let this go. I'm going to give you a minute now just to remember and to bring to the surface those areas of guilt in your life. The purpose of this exercise is to bring up from your subconscious the feelings so that we can transmute this. What I'd like you to do now is to invoke and invite an inner child going back in time, between the ages of 3 and 9, and go back to your earliest experience and invite the child that resonates with feeling guilt, either by having it themselves or observing it in adults that are surrounding them. I want you to go back to your earliest experience with that inner child. I want you to give that inner child a hug and a kiss. And I want you to sit down in a comfortable place in your island and know that your master guide has a TV there in front of you so that you and your inner child can watch the experiences that you had in the earliest part of your life with the feelings of guilt and all its subsidiaries, for the purposes of bringing them to the surface so we can transmute them. I'm going to leave you here now for a minute or two to watch that television. And remember, give yourself permission to remember the earliest incident of guilt or feeling guilty in your life. It's time to stop watching the television now. Give that inner child a hug. And I'd like you and your inner child to bring forth and invite onto your island the person or persons that brought the feeling of guilt or feeling guilty, or they in fact were feeling guilty themselves, onto your island now. You may not want to bring this person onto your island, but I want you to know that it is completely safe to have this person or persons on your island now for the purposes of disconnecting this energy. Bring those people or that person associated with your inner child in front of you now. I want you to look and see for the cords that are attaching to your energy centers as a result of all these feelings that are there. And I want you to disconnect these cords at this time. And if you have multiple cords between you, your inner child, and this person in front of you, ask your healing doctor to remove all these cords, whether you see them or not, and to place all these cords in our energetic field with love, unconditional love, compassion, and peace. And let them go completely. All the feelings of guilt or being guilty or watching guilt. Make that choice now if you want to let this go and to disconnect or not this energetic bondage with your inner child and this person. If you choose to let this go completely, I want you to take your tongue and put it on the roof of your mouth now and hold it there for 30 seconds to show and to neutralize this energy and to transmute it. Now, and so it is done. How do you feel now? There's a mirror on the island. I want you to look in your eyes and see what feelings you see, if there's any feelings left underneath the feeling of guilt or being guilty or any of its subsidiaries. If there are, ask your healing doctor to unplug those cords and to place them into your energetic field now to transmute all of this energy. It's time to look and to see your inner child. How is your inner child feeling right now as a result of the release of all these cords? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they joyful? Are they playful? However they are is right for this moment. It's time now to leave your island. I want you to give your inner child a hug and a kiss, and to thank your spirit guides for being with you today. I want you to go to the door, unlock the door with the key you have, open the door, walk through the door, close the door behind you, lock it, and keep the key with you. Walk down the stairs, stretch yourself, and find yourself back in your beautiful garden with the sunshine on your skin. Welcome back. Feel free to have a quick drink as you reemerge. How was that?
That was very powerful. That was a transfer of emotion and physicality. Beautiful.
That's wonderful. And that's the balance. And that's a small example of psychosomatic numerology and how we take things from the subconscious, we bring it to the conscious level, we let it go in combination with your numerology to be the best that you can be. Now, the entree into this whole conversation has to do with your numerology. And I would like, as a special offer for you and your friends, I'd like to offer an introductory 30-minute chart with me. Give me your name and date of birth, and I'll give you 30 minutes for $39. Huge discount to be able to see if this is something you would absolutely like to do with me.
Well, I hope they're interested because I think it's very powerful. And I know people and I have friends I think would really benefit.
Well, let me just say this. Anybody that's taken me up on my offer, nobody has ever said not to. So once we get started talking about the numerology, I just get so excited. It just turns into so much more. But we have courses and classes and releasing, and I'm currently teaching a course, Numerology and Me in 5D. So it's teaching people all about their charts and having a deep understanding of all the manifestations because there's so much. And then there's another course that I'm offering. It's called The Journey of Spiritual Awakening. And it's all about releasing all of these low-level energies and transmuting and through meditation and all of that. But the first part is, let's get started. Let's start with your numerology, and that's a psychosomatic numerology. So if this is something that you'd like to get to work with me, I would welcome the opportunity to do that.
That's terrific. You got to start. You got to get going on it. Beautiful.
Well, thank you. So this QR code right here, all you have to do is put your phone literally on the QR code and it'll take you right to the website. And you can schedule your half-hour session with me and we can get started.
Okay. Now, did you leave that QR code up on the screen?
I sure can.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious. Yeah. Pinch out. So you would need this on your computer and then take your phone to it.
Yep, just take a picture. Just put your phone and put the picture to the QR code and you'll go right to my website. It's the easiest way to do it.
Thank you so much, Carrie. That
you're welcome.
What a great interview we've had. Nice session.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. All right.
So have a great